Hey y'all, I'm Kim Davis, your Christian spiritual strength trainer, and today we're talking about don't be so quick to judge. Don't be so quick to judge other people. So real quick, I want to share with you a strategy so you do not fall into the snare of the enemy of judging people. Sometimes we do it unconsciously without even realizing it. And so today I want to share with you a story. One of my friends shared a story with me of something that she went through, and it was very difficult for her. And she didn't realize, the snare of the enemy, the trap that was being laid for her until I opened her eyes. So, what happened was she was at work, as we do. We go to work, and you're in your cubicle, 9 to 5, and you have coworkers around you. Well, she was trying to concentrate on work, sending emails and having meetings and phone calls and whatnot. And her coworker, who was right next to her in the next cubicle, had a hacker's cough. And she was a chronic smoker and had been for years. She had been working there for years, and it was very difficult for my friend to concentrate because she would always cough every couple of seconds. She would have this very loud cough, and it was very hard to ignore. And it was starting to grate on my friend's nerves. It was getting on her last nerves. She had tried headphones. She had tried, just ignoring her. She had tried different things, prayer even, and it was not working. And she just got madder and madder every time because it would interrupt her work. It would interrupt her conversations that she would be having on the phone, professional conversations she's trying to have at work. And this lady's over here coughing up a lung. So she was like, look, of course, because we are strong Black women and we will confront the situation if we need to. And she was ready to confront the lady. And she was like, she's just going to go tell her, give her a piece of her mind, tell her that she's doing this to herself because she has been smoking all the time and she hasn't quit smoking. And this is her problem. She's brought this on herself and she needs to stop because it's interrupting everybody else in the workplace because she can't seem to get her smoking under control. Okay, that could be true. However, I had to talk her down and I shared with her, you know what? You don't know what happens behind closed doors in that woman's house. You don't know what that woman's dealing with. You don't know if she has a terminal illness that she's just been diagnosed with that she just realized. You don't know if she's been trying to quit this habit and she can't. You don't know what is going on in this woman's life, first of all. Second, it's important for us to lead with love, have the right heart attitudes, have the right heart motives when we go and talk to each other, because God tells us the first and greatest commandment is to love God with all of your heart, and then love others as you love yourself. And so to speak to that woman in love. So you might have to check yourself before you go speak to that woman, making all these accusations about her that you really don't know what's going on with her. And so the reality of it is we're in a battle. We are in a war, and the things that we are battling against is not flesh and blood. That lady with the hacker's cough was not her enemy. The trap that the enemy was trying to lay for my friend was to get her to come to the dark side, which is to accuse, which is to blame, which is to point out fault. That's not the way the Lord operates. And so she was very tempted to do that, and she felt justified in doing so. However, the way that the Lord wants us to approach people is in love, is in humility, is in kindness, is in mercy even. And mercy is something that people can't earn. It's given. And so in Matthew 7:2, it says, be very careful, for in the same way that you judge others, you will be judged. With the same measure that you use, it will be measured to you. And so I'm sure my friend is not perfect. And I'm sure that she has some things that she is working on and is probably not perfect in her life. So it's important for us not to point out the faults in others before we check ourselves. We don't really have a right to judge anyone. Also, to act in mercy. Really, God prefers mercy over judgment. And so In Micah chapter 7, verse 18, it says, "Who is a God like you, who forgives wickedness and who passes over the rebellious acts of the remnant of his possession? He does not retain his anger forever, because he constantly delights in mercy and loving kindness." And it's that same mercy and loving kindness that he's given us that we are to share with others. And so I kind of had to talk her down and share these things with her and understand that the enemy was trying to get her to act on his behalf. Whereas the Lord, really, we're called to act on the Lord's behalf and be ambassadors for the Lord, to represent the Lord, to be good examples and stewards for the Lord, not for the enemy. And so it's very easy. We can easily get tempted to do that and to fall into the snare of the enemy of passing quick judgment on other people without even sometimes realizing it. And so it's important for you to remember, whose side of the camp are you going to be on? Because you can only choose one. Choose life, choose death, but you get to choose. Do you want to choose darkness? Do you want to choose light? You get to choose. There is no gray. There is no gray. And so you get to choose which side that you are going to act on behalf of. And so once she realized that, and I talked her down off the ledge, God really began to work in her and to actually move on her behalf to get her out of that situation without her even having to do anything. It was just the Lord wanted to reveal this lesson in her life. And so sometimes when we're going through struggles and stuff, it is a lesson that we need to learn and to open up our eyes to, not necessarily something we're doing wrong or something that's being done wrong to us, but there could be a greater lesson that has sometimes nothing to do with you or sometimes everything to do with you. We really need to make sure that our heart is right before the Lord, because that is really what he's after. And once that is right, everything else will fall into place. And so I hope this was helpful for you. And if you are ready to do your heart work and really begin cultivating those nice attitudes and those right attitudes in your life so that you can be the example that God has called you to be. If you are ready to gain the world without losing your soul, if you are ready to fulfill your God-given purpose, I encourage you to reach out to me. You can click the link accompanied with this video, and let's schedule a time for us to just talk and see if there's a resource or recommendation that I have for you that I can share with you to help you move forward in your life. And so that you can fulfill your God-given purpose, so you can have everything that God said that you can have. So until next time, be blessed and be encouraged. KimDavisForTheOne.com.